Ian from mindfulmarketplace.com. If you're watching this video on YouTube, I'd encourage you to sign up for our free community at the link in the description below. For everyone else who's watching this in actually our learning, LMS, I'm going to cover some really simple steps that we are using here to build our audience, to engage our audience, and to cultivate new clients using an email outreach campaign and a template that I've used dating back really to the first directory that I built. I don't even know how many years ago at this point, maybe a decade or so ago. It was the very first thing that I started doing, with zero budget, literally, almost sitting in my underwear, in my house at the time, just sending out invites on a brand new marketplace project. It was actually a directory back then that's since evolved into a bit of a marketplace. Completely different site, actually. But, I've shared lots of videos from that project in some of our, some of the other videos that you can see on my channel. So I'm not going to cover that here, but I'm going back to that approach now for our mindful marketplace community, because some of the other things that we're doing aren't working quite as well as I would hope. So for an example, we're doing a lot of Facebook advertising, which is getting really great engagements, lots of link clicks and lots of loves and likes and comments, but it's really not converting into clients the way that some of my initial expectations were, especially in the new author space. So really, we're trying to cultivate a community of folks who are writing books and or who want to write books, and we're going to help them with this, this platform product that I've created called Collect, Connect, and Convert. This is a really high-end offer for aspiring authors in the mindfulness niche. So I want to show you as an analog to that. So we're still running those Facebook ads, but I'm cutting back a little bit on the budget for that because it's just not converting the way, as I mentioned, that I hoped. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you completely honestly, there's a landing page for that Collect, Connect, and Convert product that I've sent a couple thousand people to at this point. And today's I think the 6th of February, just in the last 10 days. And I think like 25 people actually signed up for, just for the email list. I'm actually moving my laptop because my battery, I just noticed, is about to die. All right, so that's like a hideous conversion rate that I can't afford to keep running Facebook ads to promote an offer that's converting so poorly. So what I've done is doubled back and started an email outreach campaign again. I'm going to show you this here as a type form. I'll show you actually that's not the right one. This is the email. So essentially, what we're doing is I have someone who is sending this email out. If you want to see this, I'll have a link to this email that you can copy if you'd like to use for your own campaigns, your own community. But essentially, I have this person on our team sending this email out. So this is the subject line. Hey, name obviously is the name of the person that we'll be addressing. Let's write a book together, an invitation from mindfulmarketplace.com. Here's an alternate subject line that I'll have, we're going to test, which is just write a book with us, right? And that'll also have an invitation from mindfulmarketplace.com. So here's a letter from me, right? Hey, my name is Ian, blah, blah, blah. You can read this whole thing if you so desire. And essentially here, it links to this type form, right? So in the email that they're going to get, this type form, which is here, is the call to action. So that's what we're asking them to do. And they're going to land on this here. We've actually started sending these out. And the conversion on this, or at least the initial interest on this, is just converting far better than my Facebook ads, right? So this took, I don't know, a day or so to put together. And the writing is a little bit of a pain in the ass. The type form's easy to do. Actually, the part that is most challenging for me, because I'm sort of picayune and a perfectionist when it comes to the email content, the copy itself. That's the piece. This piece here is really where I spend the most, kind of time and energy, and invest the most attention into, because I personally, because it has my name on it, I want people to actually like the email, respond to the email, and think good thoughts about us by dint of what I've written. All right. So again, this email, we're just using a simple Gmail account, so we're not, polluting our, our domain email with lots of outgoing mail. Some people might report that as unwanted or spammy or whatever. So we're just using a Gmail account, which is Mindful Marketplace at gmail.com, sending them to this type form, which says, let's write a book together, an invitation from mindfulmarketplace.com. Let's write a book. And then essentially we are articulating what the idea is, right? So, our mission, in this project is changing the way the world thinks about mindfulness. And we're going to be curating a whole shitload of contributions from a wide disparity of people, professionals, teachers, yogis, therapists, doctors, authors, coaches, anyone who practices mindfulness, in quotes, in their life or in their professional practice, who may have a unique version or vision of what that really means. What does mindfulness mean to them? So that is the framing by which we are presenting this whole book writing offer. Again, it's a community, a curated book that's going to be short blurbs, 50 to 500 words maximum, 500 words maximum, 50 words minimum, from all these folks that we're asking to contribute to this. And, each person will get their own, chapter in the book or blurb or anecdote or story. And then we just basically walk them through this process of joining our community, submitting a picture for the book, which will also be published on Facebook. And I even, as you'll see below, I'm setting up a new blog, right? So we're actually setting up a new magazine, which is just going to be a blog running on the Ghost platform. That's a community-oriented site that's going to have all of the submissions on this particular project. Again, just another way of sort of incentivizing these folks to want to participate in taking the 50 minute or 50 word minimum, 500 word maximum investment of time to contribute to this project. All right, really easy, and the bang for their buck will be high. All right, and again, we go through all this blah 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 blah, and then essentially asking these folks, hey, are you interested in writing your own book in 2020? Because we're looking for 10 first-time authors in the personal growth, alternative health, community wellness, or enlightened entrepreneurialism verticals who'd like to join us in a new project coming in the spring, right? So this is the part where we're going to be asking people to raise their hands and say, yeah, I'm also interested in writing my own book, not just a community curated one, but one where, the sole author says, all right. And then, oh shit, did I just pin this thing? That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Christ. And then at the end of this, we have the Facebook page, which is just validation, so they can see we have a large following and a lot of engaged people on the page. They can email us, and I actually have an 800 number, which I will include in this as well, so they can actually call in to a vanity 800 number that we set up, so that looks a little bit more professional as well. Now, I could also have this on the Facebook side, on the Typeform side, redirect, which I eventually will, to that, either that collect, connect, convert big offer that we're making, or the list of the services that we are offering through our Mindful Marketplace community. So it could be, web development stuff, web design, social media marketing, email marketing, just like a menu of services that we're offering, that they will be redirected to once they hit this thanks button. I'm also going to pixelize this. So I'm going to have a pixel from Facebook put into this form, which means that anyone who looks at this, whether they fill it out or not, is going to be retargeted on Facebook with a hyper, specific ad campaign that is going to sell some other stuff, right? So we're going to be promoting other services by dint of knowing that these people saw this form. They landed on this form, and they are the only people who will be getting that ad, because we'll be retargeting just folks who looked at the this particular offer or this particular form, which they will then get an offer related to having been here. Okie doke. That's really it, right? So the steps are sending an email out, an email invite, and then having something you're asking them to do. Many of you are like, and I've certainly done this myself on many projects. You ask them to fill out a profile or sign up for a featured listing or get in contact with you, et cetera, et cetera. I found all those work. I found that, having some sort of fancy kind of, software or something that really makes you look like a wizard. If you've worked with me, I know many of you who will be listening to this will have heard me say this on our phone calls, but you want to look like a superhero. You want to look like a magician. You want to look like a wizard, right? Something like Typeform accomplishes that. I certainly couldn't program this sort of user experience on my own. So using Typeform, it allows you to insert people's names, submit pictures. So for an example, and again, I'm not going to make this into a Typeform demonstration, but those of you who know how Typeform works, well, now all of a sudden, and your last name Ian, right? So it is essentially, using my information to personalize the user experience on the form going forward, right? That is impressive to many folks who are trying to build a business, trying to figure out how to launch a blog or start a store or whatever it is. So you want to take advantage of whatever inexpensive web tools or technologies that are available that make you look smarter than you really are, right? And Typeform certainly allows us, or me in this case, to do that quite well. All right, I encourage those of you who are interested in launching something like this, go back to email. If everything else you're doing isn't working, we are still running Facebook ads. I'm not going to stop doing that. But as a supplemental strategy, the email invite and just identifying your core audience, your ideal audience, finding out where they are in the world, and then just having somebody sit at home and just send out email after email, personalizing those emails, doing an outreach campaign. It just works, right? And if your offer is good, in this case, I think it is, we have a book writing project that they can participate in simply by submitting a short anecdote or story or quote or meaningful little missive about what mindfulness means to them, and they can then claim to be a published author as part of our book writing campaign. All right, I think that's a win-win for everybody. So we'll find out. I could be wrong, but so far the early results are, out of the first 50 of these that we've sent, I've already gotten several responses, and I've also gotten somebody who set up a phone call with me, which is ultimately what we're hoping to accomplish. Anyway, hope that helps. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube and not part of our private community, I would certainly encourage you to sign up and join us at the link below. Thanks so much. Again, Ian, mindfulmarketplace.com. Have a wonderful weekend.